Hey guys, it's your boy Nadal. So today we're gonna show you a 17 the other side that I did. Gonna make some commentary over it like we usually do. So I hope that you enjoy it and let's get into it. So pre-pull here, we tricks, we get our everything up, we pot, we roll the bones. We try to kick the scribe there, but he was a little bit far away. We get a little follow thing there, so we don't really see anything. I should make that smaller. Alright, so on this pull, we just try to cleave as much as possible. I'm a little bit slow with getting my slice and dice up. Here I cloak, so I can like DPS more aggressively without going out of the AoE. I'm focusing on the cultists this time. I usually focus on the big guy, but I feel like it's better to focus on the cultist and really lock them down with like kidneys and stuff like that. You don't really need to kick the Dark Lotus. You should focus on kicking the Scribe, I think it's called. Because the Lotus just puts the purple flowers on the ground, but people can avoid them. Here you see me beating on the shades a little bit. I mainly do that to reset my cooldowns, because I might as well, I'm in combat anyway. You don't want to fall behind though. I fell behind a little bit here, but not too much. So I mark for death one of the lower health mobs here, and then I get on the skull. That's my kick target. So we're gonna kick something here, like that. We kick the shadow core. We don't kick Death's Embrace, because the mage can spell steal Death's Embrace. So you don't want to do that if your mage actually wants to spell steal. I mean, it's up to you. Here I should be throwing a kidney on a cultist probably, but there is a lot going on. But kidneying a cultist here is really good. Here we have a shade, so we kidney the shade. Sometimes I hold on to kidney because then I can kidney shades like that. Because when you get focused by a shade, you either have to kidney the shade, you have to evasion, or you have to stop DPSing. And I don't want to stop DPSing, and I didn't have evasion, so kidney's great for shades. Here we have a little shade coming for me again, but we don't really need to kill these. We need to kill the cultist, that's it. And he's dead. Alright, so we're moving on. I get my mount interrupted. I'm a little bit annoyed by that. So I happily jump along. And alright. So they just jump over there. I prefer to do the safe route, and also that gets me stealth guaranteed. So I should mark for death one of the raptors here, but since I'm playing mark for death now, I don't always have time to like mark for death the proper targets and stuff. I do believe it's still better than Vigor. I think that that mark for death is still better than Vigor. It seems better, even if you use it poorly, it seems better. Here it's a little bit weird position for me to be in. I waste a bunch of my CDs there and stuff. But yeah, you can mark for death the shades, as you saw there. I mark for death the shade, and then it resets when the shade dies. So mark for death this week especially is really good. Here we want to make sure we kill these two big mobs at the same time, because they will spawn the pride. So we're just beating on these big mobs right now. And yeah. Mark for death maybe here. Between the eyes at least. Mark for death. Yeah, maybe a vanish here too. Can we get a vanish from the rogue? No. Alright. I mean, there's a lot going on, and vanish is the lowest priority in my list of things to do. Like, it's more important for me to keep certain things up, and like to keep between the eyes up, keep slice and dice up, manage my rolls. So I mean, vanish, it's great to use it as a DPS CD, but I don't always do it because there's so much other stuff going on. But I've been getting a little bit better with it, but yeah, sometimes I forget. So like I should be using it here, to be honest. Like right now. Right now. Right now. Oh, we got to distract the ad over there because we don't want him coming ruining our party. So we kill this guy with pride. Maybe we can get a vanish on this guy. What do you think, guys? We're gonna get a vanish, maybe? Here we can Blade Flurry just to get some extra damage on the ads. We make sure we use Feint when he does the rage. He probably won't do it. No, he won't do it. Because he's dead. I don't use any CDs on there. Like, I could use Adrenaline Rush there, but I'm saving it for the trash. Upcoming trash. So, like, you want to use Adrenaline Rush on cooldown, but sometimes you want to hold it. Sometimes you do want to hold it. Alright, so we're going into a car room now. I don't know if this was the run or maybe the next run where I'm supposed to focus on the priests the whole run. I think it's this one. So that's nice just to have like an assignment before we go in. Maybe we could get a vanish on this guy. No. But I mean, it's kind of, as I said, it's kind of low on my priority list. If there's like a bunch of other stuff going on, I might not have time to vanish. I might not think about it. Alright, so I'm going on the priest here. Here we should reroll. Alright. We should evasion there before we die to Bladestorm. For some reason I didn't think that would do damage to me, because I thought I was too far away, but obviously not. Alright, so we're beating up this priest. It's a little bit scuffed here, because I'm killing the single target mob and they're cleaving on the ads over there, so I lose a bit of damage there, but it is what it is, you know. We're trying to time good keys, then you have to make some sacrifices. Are we gonna get a vanish anytime soon? I've held vanish for like, oh, there you got a vanish, dude. I held vanish for like the longest time there, which wasn't that good. I definitely could have used it at certain points. But you live and you learn. So, reroll, good. Mark for death, The mob's almost dead, there we go, perfect. Here we're gonna use our Blood Facial to cleanse the spirit. I don't think we really needed to, because we can just kite them, but we do it anyway. Here we're just beating on the Hexer. Nothing really special about this guy. We just may have to make sure we kick the heal. Because the heal is pretty huge. It heals them like full health. So we make sure we kick the heal. Alright, and then here we should nuke the spirit. So I kidney it in case it's on me. It wasn't on me, so it's no problem. But we should kill the spirit. Perfect. And then we should LOS to avoid getting killed. Alright, and then we go on our target, the priest. Here we could vanish, like right now. Yeah, see, there we go. I've been getting better, man. I've been getting better. But yeah, I had a bit of a slump before this with my vanish, but it is what it is. Right, here we pop evasion just so we can DPS inside of the Bladestorm, kinda. Like, you have to make sure you face the Bladestorm now, but so that's pretty nice. Here we can get a gouge off. Yeah, gouge interrupts Bladestorm. It's perfect. But this one we have to kite a little bit. I cloak the damage from the lightning there. Questionable decision. You might want to save the cloak for pride, but at the same time, if you save it for pride, then you don't have it for the boss. And for this boss, you kind of need it. At least on high keys. You kind of need the... yeah, you kind of need the cloak for the boss here. So it's actually not a bad cloak there. Here we should Adrenaline Rush, yeah. I always use Adrenaline Rush like when it's off cooldown, and especially on Pride it's really good. Because the Prides really have to die fast. There I get hit because I think, look at this, okay? So I'm gonna show you why this happened. And I was a little bit tilted in the moment, but look at the Druid now. Look at the Druid to my right. If you look at the Druid to my right, see? He has the thing now, right? Like, I'm not crazy. He has the thing on him. And then... how does that happen? How did I get hit there? Like, the thing comes from the Druid. See, I knew it. The Druid had it. I was like, on stream, I was going crazy about this. So I just didn't understand it, like how I could get hit. So I have it here, and I'm just DPSing like normal. And then the Druid gets it, which is to my right here. You see, the Druid has it. Clearly he has it. So I'm in a safe position right now to the Druid. And then, when it goes off, it somehow goes on me. Maybe I'm being stupid here, but so what happens behind the boss? Because there's no way it could hit me here. There's no way. So something hits behind here, and then it goes on me somehow. Yeah, it makes no sense, alright? I'm not gonna get too caught up on this, but yeah, it makes absolutely no sense why I got hit there. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a small indie company. What can you do? You can't blame them too much, you know. It's still in the beta, so it's not actually in the beta, by the way. But you know. Alright, so here you can use the cloak. It's really good. On like the last 30-20% of the mob health, you can use cloak, which is really good. If you don't have cloak, you should feint. I don't feint here because I'm pretty good on health, but you should pretty much always feint the last like couple of percent of the boss, or the Pride, because it hurts a lot. Here you should. All right, let me read this so you can actually see. I was a little bit slow with that. All right, so here you want to use Mark for Death on the ads, because the Mark for Death, it resets when the ads die when we start the boss. So here you can see, you're gonna see I Mark for Death this guy, I Mark for Death that guy, and then when we start the boss, he kills the ads, and I get my Mark for Death reset, and I got a full slice and dice before the boss started. So I get like a full combo point bar for free if I do that. So it's pretty nice. I should have probably re-rolled before the boss as well. I had 2 rolls, I think, but if there's short duration before the fight starts, it's better to re-roll before, so you don't have to use a global in the fight. Especially during your opener, you don't want to use any extra globals. Alright, so here we're just cleaving on the boss. I've done some different strategies with this. Sometimes I will go out on and kill the ads. Sometimes I will just stand on the boss and cleave off the boss. But like the killing of the ads, I still don't really know when you should kill it. Like you should kill the ads before the blood barrier, because he gets a bigger blood barrier if you don't kill the ads. But I think you kill the ads for the damage. I don't think you do it so much for the blood barrier. But yeah, I'm just doing what my group wants. And they want to pump the boss and not bother so much with the ads. And it is what it is. Alright, so that's the first boss down. He's probably the hardest boss in here. It's like this one and Sanguine Depths, they have like their first boss is like the hardest boss. Because Sanguine Depths, the boss in there, is really healing intensive this week. It's really quite crazy with the Grievous and the Smash Orb thing. So I've also noticed Outlaw has really bad movement. I'm not used to that. When I was playing Night Fae, it wasn't so bad. Then like I really enjoyed playing Night Fae actually for the movement. So I might even go back to Night Fae at some point. But the reason I went Kyrian, if you don't know, is because then I can... I went Kyrian because then I have more buffs in more dungeons. Because there's a lot of Night Fae people. Like every hunter and every mage is Night Fae, and I always play with hunter and mage, so it's like I always have 2 Night Faes in the group anyway. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to play Night Fae as well when it comes to the group perspective. But if you want to go for your own damage, then yeah, you might wanna consider Night Fae, right? Because it's really good. It has good movement, and the conduits are gonna be better later if they don't get nerfed. You can cloak the Haywire. I don't do that here though. I think I'm saving the cloak. Here we could hit them with the vanish ambush. But yeah, once again, we need to get better with that. Alright, so here we're chilling behind the LOS. I went out a little bit too early. But it is what it is. We could pop Adrenaline Rush here, actually. I decided to hold it for the next pack, but we could pop it. Because whenever you're holding CDs, you're actually losing DPS, even if it's just like this. But yeah, so it takes a while here to get the pull done, but maybe it was the right decision to hold actually, because then we can do a lot of DPS on this pack when it's more gathered up and get more duration out of it. So we evasion here because then we don't get hit from the whirlwinds. We also want to try to make interrupt as much as we can, and we can also kidney. So if we kidney these, then it's a lot easier. We have a druid tank, and they're not so good against spell damage. So I try to kill these first, because the discharge that they do is lightning, it's nature damage. Unfortunately, I get a shade on me there, but it's not that big of a deal. We just had to DPS the dog for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's not that bad with the shades this week. A lot of people are freaking out about it, like it's so melee unfriendly and everything like that. But I don't know if it's just me that it's like, I think the whole of World of Warcraft is melee unfriendly, and like I don't know if that's just me, but I don't think it's that bad. I rarely get hit by the shades, and like you can actually DPS them as you kite them if you play outlaw, because of your melee range increase. So if you do it carefully and good, then you can do it. Right, so here we're shrouding past a bit here. Something interesting that I found with the slimes, as you can see, if you stand in front of them like that, you actually stop the slimes, because it's like a distract, you know, when they see something in the stealth, they're like, oh, who goes there? And they stop. Here I was so scared I was gonna get hit, but I didn't. So then we just rest the mage. I probably used cloak a little bit early there, but the mage wasn't really ready, I guess. Alright, so I should be kicking more on this pack. We get a nice kidney off here. It's important to kick on this pack. But the druid tank, he called me out on this pack. He was like, Nettle, kick something, you had your kick for ages. And I just looked at the replay now, and I didn't have my kick for ages, man. Like I didn't have in the beginning. Yeah, I didn't use it for a minute because I was nuking the skull, and he was like on the pull after I'd already done the between the eyes. He was like, yeah, I'll do skull, and it's like if my between the eyes is already up, then it's like I kind of have to focus that target. But yeah, I could have kicked something else, but I honestly don't think I held my kick for that long. Right, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, and I even used the kidney on one. But it is what it is, man. Alright, so now we're doing this boss. It's really important to soak the crystals, but you're gonna see when I try to soak the crystals, then the range, they soak on top of me. Like they soak behind me. Because you get damage increase from the range, from the crystals. So like you're gonna see that I soak something, and then the hunter moves in like that, and there's gonna be more of that going on. There's gonna be more of that going on. All right. So my dog wants to come in, of course, as I'm making the video. So just give me a second, guys. All right, we're back from letting the dog in. All right, here we go. So, but you will see as I try to soak the crystals here as well. It's like the mage is in front of me at the crystal. It's like there's nothing I can do there. So like the ranged players are basically hogging the crystal. It's either the ranged players or the tank doing it. But at least we get a stun here. The mage dies somehow. I don't know how, but yeah, the mage players just didn't want me to get a crystal. Here you can actually disarm the bombs before they run out, but it is a DPS loss to do that because you have to stand still and cast a disarm for a few seconds. So usually the healer is doing this, but in a pug, if you want to be helpful and stuff, then you can disarm the bombs by just spam right clicking the boss as he's casting the experimental blah 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 bomb. So yeah, if you want to be real helpful and real nice in a pug, then you can do that. So here we have the stun incoming. I shouldn't have used my between the eyes here because the boss goes away anyway. So I should have saved my between the eyes for this guy. Like, now I should have used my between the eyes. Would have been a lot better. So yeah, so it's either like the tank or the range taking the crystals. I could maybe stand max range behind the tank, but I mean, if he's already soaking it, I'm not gonna bother. So here I'm soaking, you see, I was soaking, and then both the range players, they're like stumbling over each other. They can't even like, they're like, oh, the beam, and they like throw themselves on top of the beam, and it's like both of them are there, and they like take it from each other, and it's like, it's just a mess, dude. And then the mage goes into it. You see there on the right, he goes into it. Even when the hunter is soaking it for like ages, the mage goes into it. Like, they really want that extra damage, man. They just, yeah, they don't want me to take it, for sure. But, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of nice to not have to soak it anyway. And I'm not even sure that it gives you bonus damage, because it doesn't say so in the tooltip, but that's what I've heard. That it makes you do more damage if you soak it. But maybe that's just something people say to make people soak more. I don't know. So you watch out for the bombs, of course. They don't spawn shades, luckily, so it's not so bad. Our damage so far is pretty good, actually. It's not bad. We probably won't be able to compete with a hunter or a mage in this dungeon because of all the big AoE packs. It's not a great dungeon for outlaw, honestly, because we're target capped. I don't really understand why we're target capped, if I'm honest. Because it's like, even if we weren't target capped, we would do less damage than the hunter and the mage on like mass AoE anyway. So it's like, I don't really understand that, but well, it is what it is. So here we feint. It's really important that we feint on this, because it does a lot of damage. We can also cloak it, and I think I will cloak the next one. Maybe a vanish here. Oh, I need to figure out how to get myself to use vanish. Here we cloak. But yeah, I definitely need to start using vanish more. But I need to, I don't really know. Change my weak aura somehow, maybe. Because I have a small icon down there under my health bar, but I don't really look at it. But I think it's more so like just a habit of looking at it. I don't think it's a problem with the positioning in itself. Because it's just that I just need to get into the habit of using it. But vanish to me is not the damage CD, it's a defensive CD. But I guess, yeah, in Shadowlands it definitely used as a offensive CD more so than a defensive one. Here we watch out for here it's a lot of shit going on. It's the frontal, it's the flowers, it's everything. We just make sure we don't get hit. Here's a nice stun going out. I've changed all my kicks and stuns now, or well, kidney shot and gouge that should probably change kick as well to mouse over. So I'm gonna try that to see if that feels better. Because right now I'm like tab target switching to mobs, and we get pretty hit hard there. We evasion though, so we're fine. But yeah, I'm gonna try some mouse over macros for my stunts and my kicks. See if that feels better. Because right now it feels a bit clunky having to tab to different targets and stuff like that. So might feel better with some mouse over action. Because I mean I'm already using mouse over for my Mark for Death, so it's not so bad. But the Mark for Death has a thing that like it casts on the target if I don't have something in my mouse over. But I'm not gonna have that for the kicks and stuff, because then you can kick something by mistake. Because Mark for Death, yeah, I can put Mark for Death on my main target by mistake, but if I put it by mistake, it's not that big deal. It's not the end of the world if I put it by mistake there. But the kick, I can actually fuck something up pretty good if I kick the wrong target, so that's why I don't have the target thing added in there. So here we're gonna try not to die. We're really slow, but yeah, we're trying not to die here. We wait for this one, we play it safe. I don't want to get hit. I got hit earlier today, and it almost killed me. It proc my sheet death on 17, because it does a lot of damage. But yeah, not today. We also have the pride going through there, which we were talking about. It's not that great, but I was like, yeah, at least it makes us fast. So I'm not complaining. You should use your Blade Rush earlier before you start using combo point spenders. You should basically get your Between the Eyes up, your Slice and Dice up, and then you should Blade Flurry Blade Rush. If you don't do that, then it can be pretty bad, because then you don't get your resets from your combo points, right? So you want to get resets on Blade Flurry for sure. Like get reduced CD on both Blade Flurry and Blade Rush. Here we try to not get hit by the shade. Yeah, we're fine. Because yeah, it's basically about spending combo points to reduce your CDs, and then you need to put your abilities on CDs. So yeah, you just want to put everything on the CD as much as you can, and then spend as much combo points as you can, and that's basically the outlaw gameplay in a nutshell. Here we can shiv to get our Kyrian. I do that. You can get it with your normal rotation though, but sometimes I just get into a streak of like not getting it, and then I will usually shiv just to get it out there, especially during like a Between the Eyes or something. I feel like it's worth it to shiv just for the extra combo point. Because shiv will always give you one combo point and never give you more. So even if you have broadsides, that gives you double combo points from combo point regenerators, then or combo point generators, then shiv will still give you only one combo point. So that's why using shiv is really useful. So here we just do a small pull of chickens. And, yeah, it's a pretty small pull. Alright, let me check on my dog again. He's acting up in the other room. 1 second, guys. Alright, and we're back. So we killed the chickens here. It's pretty small pull. We used to vanish. That was good. We used it a little bit earlier. But yeah, we keep Blade Flurry up. Get those combo point spenders. Here you can see I'm just Mark for Deathing the main target. A lot of the time I would just Mark for Death the main target. It's just hard to keep up Mark for Death and like use it on the lowest health target and stuff. It doesn't always work. Here it's a bit of an annoying situation. I have evasion, right? But it's still a bit annoying because they were telling us to kite back, so we spawned the pride back here. But yeah, obviously I lose a lot of DPS doing that because the hunters and you see the mages are still blasting the shades and everything, and I can't DPS because I have to be up here. So that's a bit unfortunate. But that's just the life of being a melee. I think we might use Adrenaline Rush here. Yeah, we do. I always use Adrenaline Rush on the Pride if it comes up, unless it's up on the last 5% or something. But other than that, I will use it always. Because it's really important to do damage to the Pride. Even though the damage meter might not reflect it right now because we're still in combat from the last pull, but I think I do the most damage to the Prides out of everyone. Because it's, yeah, they don't have cooldowns for it usually. And that's where Outlaw Rogue is really good, because they always have cooldowns. So here the Druid is going around on a little trip to get a bunch of mobs, and we're just staying by the urn waiting. So here you pick a target, whatever you want. And another one. I really should make that smaller. This is taken straight from my stream, that's why. Alright, so we go on the Elder Horn here. It has the most health, that's why I go on it. I probably shouldn't mark for death it, because it has the most health, but it's the target I go on, so then it's just natural for me to mark for death it. But yeah, I'm trying out all the different talents of that tier, like Vigor, Mark for Death, and Deeper Stratagem too. Like, I'm trying everything, seeing what works best. I like Mark for Death, but the reality is that I'm never basically gonna be able to properly reset it, like you should be. So the question is Mark for Death better even if you can't properly reset it? And I think it is, but not by as much as people would think. And then Deeper Stratagem is better for the bosses, I believe. But it depends on the boss length. So I mean, you can use whatever talent you're comfortable with there. Mark for Death is, yeah, some extra key presses and stuff. And here we Shroud. We go past this big pack with the Matriarch. Because that Matriarch is kind of annoying. Like if you pull it, it can mess you up a lot. Alright, so here we go again on the big guy, I think. We should maybe. Actually, no, I think we go on the small casters. Just to lock them down a little bit. We should get some kicks off as well, but there's just so much going on. It's always easy for me to sit here and tell you that, yeah, you should do more kicks, but it's like, if I have already doing like 60 APM, like I'm casting something every second, it's like, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, you should be doing this too. It's like I don't have enough globals to do it. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge playing Outlaw, but I think it's fun because there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's also hard to do everything that you need to do, like all the stunts and kicks and stuff, because you're already pressing so many buttons. But I mean, it's definitely doable, and yeah, I need to get better with kicking and stunning stuff. But it's just, yeah, it's hard when there's a lot of stuff going on. This shade is a bit annoying, but I think we're fine because we have the evasion. They root it as well, so that's perfect. So we keep going here. We use our CDs, the ones we have, right, on this. Get a Blade Rush off. I think this one is going to get a little spicy because I didn't have Adrenaline Rush for this one. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we're okay, right? So we'll see. But yeah, I think Deeper Stratagem might be better for like Prides and stuff because of the more finishers. But I mean, the Mark for Death is also good, but I don't think it weighs up for all the increased finishers. Here we get a 5 roll. Our RNG is actually really good here, of course. So we get the 5 roll, and then we vanish into a count the odds. So we have basically a 6 roll right here. But as you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage. But I'm still not catching up to the other people. And that's what I think is quite crazy. It's like, even if I get a 5 roll, which only happens to me like a couple of times a day. If I play all day, I might get a 5 roll like 5 times. If I play all day, like do dungeons all day, I might get it 5 times, right? So here we're giving the lightning away, and then we're shrouding because we didn't have time to get to a trap. I mean, we're cloaking. We didn't have time to get to a trap. Because this lightning that goes around, you have to manage it. So even with like insane RNG, I'm not that far ahead of like the other people right now in the fight. Even with the insane RNG. Alright, so here we're giving it to the healer. We probably should have given it to the hunter there, but the healer was closer by. The hunter should be positioned closer to the boss so he can easier take the lightning. So I think that's a mistake for the range to be so far away. The healer dies now, I think, basically because of the lightning. But there was nothing else I could do there. So yeah, the healer dies. I'm about to die. It is what it is. We killed the boss though. But yeah, I think that's a misplay from the ranged. They're not closer to the boss, which I think is a misplay, because then it's really hard to give the lightning to them. So, last boss, 6 minutes to go. It looks pretty good here. I feel pretty confident, and yeah, it's gone pretty good so far. I mean, a 5.7 overall is not bad. Obviously, the hunter is 7k overall, and the mage is 7.2k. But this dungeon is just, there's a lot of big pulls. A lot of pulls that are like 10 mobs or more. And it's like Outlaw will never be able to compete in a dungeon like that. It's just because we're target capped to 5. So like anything above 5 is DPS loss for us. And yeah, so we won't be able to really compete with that. But it is what it is. They bring us for the shroud, the utility, the defensives, we have tricks as well. We deal with the shades really well, stuff like that. But yeah, I think we do as much damage as is possible. I don't think we could do very much more. Maybe if I made every decision perfectly and played everything exactly perfectly, every global the right decision, everything like that, then I maybe could do 6k overall here. But that's about it. I also don't have very good weapons right now. I have eye level 200 and 207. So, but I'm hoping, as today when I'm recording this video, I'm hoping to get some weapons in Heroic later. So if you're watching from the future and you know I got weapons, then you can be hyped for me. Because right now I'm struggling with the weapons a little bit. Alright, so we dodged the Master of Death there. It's a good thing when you get the orbs to drop them far away. You don't want to drop them in the middle like that, because then it's hard for the tank to move and it's hard for me to move, and it's just, the tank was tilting a bit about that. So, alright, so here we go to our Shatter reality guy. We have our Adrenaline Rush ready. We're gonna do some serious damage here. I think I said that as well. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do some serious damage. But the other players still do more damage than me. But like on the burst like this, because we're not very bursty, Outlaw. It's okay burst, but it's nothing crazy. All right, so here we should dispatch. We shouldn't use Between the Eyes because he's almost dead. So we do the totem there. I think we were last on the totem. Sad Outlaw noises, dude. But it's fine. We bring a lot of other stuff to the table. There are other dungeons where I would beat both the hunter and the mage. Maybe not the hunter, but the mage definitely. At least in my experience. Like Theater of Pain, Spires of Ascension is also pretty good. Yeah, those two. It's pretty good. But like Necrotic Wake and the other side are kind of rough to keep up. So here you see I have the drop void thing on my screen from the weak auras, then I drop it like far out to the right. But that means if you get in this position you have to hook, otherwise you will die. So here we decide to cloak. we decide to cloak a little late there, but it is what it is. So we pop another Adrenaline Rush and let's go ham on the boss. But yeah, outlaw is very sustained damage. It might not be the highest damage compared to other classes, but it's very sustained, and I think it definitely has a place in Mythic Plus dungeons. I mean, for the Shroud and for other utility, like Cloak is very useful. Very good at dealing with the shades, and like getting stuns on targets and stuff like that is certainly valuable. So here we're about to finish the boss, and that's plus 17 the other side for time. We get a pair of haste legs here, and haste legs is definitely not what we want. They're not very good. But the tank loots a 210 trinket. And the Discord goes crazy because everyone needs this. And guess who wins it, my dudes? I win it, 210. So I have the 210 trinket from here now, which is pretty nice. It's not great because, I mean, it's good, it seems great, and if you use it properly, it performs good, but you have to have a weak aura for it so you can see, because sometimes it gives mana to your party if they're low on mana, and it gives healing to someone if they're low on health. So, and it still triggers the 3-minute cooldown. So you want to make sure you don't use it for that, because it's really inefficient. So you want to use it for the stat buffs, versatility crit or haste. I think you can get haste as well. Anyway, you want to use it for the buffs. So you want to have the weak aura. You check, make sure that you check, make sure you don't give mana or give health, and then you use it. But it's one extra thing to keep a track of as outlaw when we already keep track of 100 things. So that's why I'm not really a super big fan of this trinket, but it is 210 and it gives a lot of stats. So I'll use it, but yeah. The damage overall 5.5k, Hunter 6.7 and Mage 6.8. It's quite a bit behind there, but yeah, this dungeon is just not great for Outlaw. It's like you can't do much better. And if you play sub, I don't think you would do much better either. Even though you can mass AoE a bit more, but yeah, I don't think it would be a big difference. So, because they're still capped, sub is still capped to 8 targets, so they get 3 more targets, but I don't think that makes up for the damage difference. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. I'm going to be releasing a outlaw guide video again, like a shorter one, more compiled and a little bit updated, within the next week. So you can look forward to that. Otherwise, I'll just keep posting these walkthroughs of the different dungeons, these commentaries, and we'll just go with that for now, guys. So thank you for watching. Please come check out my stream and say hi, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good one.